जय गोपीजनवल्लभा जय गिरिवराधारी जय गिरिवराधारी जय यशोदानन्दन जय ब्रज जनरञ्जन जय यशोदानन्दन जय ब्रज जनरञ्जन जय यमुनातीरावनचारी जय कुञ्ज बिहारी जय यमुनातीरावनचारी जय कुञ्ज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुञ्ज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे जय राधा कालाचंजी राधा कालाचंजी राधे जय गौरानीताय जय गौरानीताय जय गौरानीताय जय गौरानीताय जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद Gaur Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatir Uttamaśloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So we are reading today from, I don't think we have the display screen here, so today's verse and from the canto is from Canto 7, Chapter 5, text 6 and 7, but we will be reading text 7 for people to repeat, but I will start with text 6. Sri Narada Uvacha Shrutva Putro Giru Daitya Parapaksha Samahita Jahasa Buddhir Balanam Vidyate Parabuddhibi. So we'll read next text 7 and for everyone to follow and translate. Samag Vidyaryatam Balo. Text, this is text 7, Canto 7, Chapter 5, text 7. Samyag Vitharyatam Balo Guru Dehe Dvijati Bhi Vishnu Pakshe Pratichhannair Na Vidyetasya Dhiryata Samag Vidyaryatam Balo Guru Gehe Dvijati Bhi Vishnu Pakshe Pratichhannair Na Vidyetasya Dhiryata. Those who want to repeat. Samyak Vitharyatam Balo Guru Gehe Dvijati Bhi Vishnu Pakshir Pratichhannair Na Vidyetasya Dhiryata. Samyak Vitaryatam Balo Guru Gehe Hijati Bhi Vishnu Pakshay Pratichhannair Na Vidyetasya Dhiryata. Anyone else wants to repeat? Samyak Vitaryatam Balo Guru Gehe Dvijati Bhi Vishnu Pakshe Pratichhannair Na Vidyetasya Dhiryata. Okay. So if no one else, we'll read the transliteration. Samyag, completely. Vidharyatam, let him be protected. Balaha, this boy of tender age. Guru Gehe, in the Gurukula, the place where children are sent to be instructed by the Guru. Dvijati Bihi, by Brahmanas. Vishnu Pakshay, who are on the side of Vishnu. Pratichhannai, disguised in different dresses. Na Vidhyeta, may not be influenced. Asya, of him. The intelligence. Yatha, so that. Translation. Hiranyakashipu advised his assistants, my dear demons, give complete protection to this boy at the Gurukula where he is instructed, so that his intelligence will not be further influenced by Vaishnavas who may go there in disguise. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. In our Krishna consciousness moment, the tactic of dressing oneself like an ordinary karmi is necessary because everyone in the demoniac kingdom is against the Vaishnava teachings. Krishna consciousness is not at all to the liking of the demons of the present age. As soon as they see a Vaishnava dressed in saffron garments with beads on his neck and tilaka on his forehead, they are immediately irritated. They criticize the Vaishnavas by sarcastically saying Hare Krishna, and some people also chant Hare Krishna sincerely. In either case, since Hare Krishna is absolute, whether one chants it jokingly or sincerely, it will have its effect. The Vaishnavas are pleased when the demons chant Hare Krishna because this shows that the Hare Krishna movement is taking ground. The greater demons like Hiranyakashipu are always prepared to chastise the Vaishnavas, and they try to make arrangements so that Vaishnavas will not come to sell their books and preach Krishna consciousness. Thus, what was done by Hiranyakashipu long, long ago is still being done. That is the way of materialistic life. Demons or materialists do not at all like the advancement of Krishna consciousness, and they try to hinder it in many ways. Yet the preachers of Krishna consciousness must go forward in their Vaishnava dress or any other dress for the purpose of preaching. Chanakya Pandit says that if an honest person deals with a great cheater, it is necessary for him to become a cheater, also not for the purpose of cheating, but to make his preaching successful. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmiliyatam Yenam Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So actually we see in the previous shloka itself, which I read before, so Narada Muni actually talks about Prahlada Maharaja is actually already self-realized in devotional service. But Hiranyakashipu obviously is very inimical towards Vishnu and the devotees of Vishnu. So Hiranyakashipu thinks that his son is being corrupted by this philosophy and he will not follow his footsteps. So we can generally see even in material universe or in today's world, many people are against spiritual realization at a young age. It doesn't mean that those who are spiritually following Krishna consciousness or Sanatana Dharma, it doesn't mean we are against material education. Because in this material universe, sometimes it is required to be educated to sustain oneself and sustains one's families. But to completely shun away spiritual aspect of life and the foundation of spiritual life is actually incorrect. So we can see very clearly how immediately we can see that Hiranyakashipu, he basically considers Vishnu to be his enemy because his brother was slain. So but Krishna says, Sarva Dharma Parityagyam Mamekam Saranam Vraja. So he says, Namam Dushrito Mudha Prapadyante Naradhama Maya Parthagyana Asuram Bhavam Ashritaha. So those who are actually foolish, lowest of mankind, they actually do not surrender to me and they don't accept Sri Vishnu as supreme. Now we can see the contrasting nature of Jagannath Mishra. 2 days ago we had the appearance day of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we can see that Jagannath Mishra, on the contrary, this is an example given of how he feels so happy that his son Sachisuta is actually very, very engrossed in the devotional service and following Shastras. Of course, Nimai, when growing up, was also very, very mischievous. And there were times where Jagannath Mishra had to chastise Nimai, actually. But these can be considered as actually Leelas of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, after the incidents initially, when Jagannath Mishra chastises Nimai, actually in Chaitanya Bhagavat, it is written that Dekhiye Amanda Bhase Mishra Mahashaya Ratri Dine Harishe Kuchina Janaya. So Jagannath Mishra is actually very happy and in an ocean of happiness seeing his son day and night in servicing, leading the Shastra, in following devotional service, understanding what is the essence of the Vedas. So dekite dekite Jagannatha putra mukha niti niti paya anirvachaniya sukha. So every day Jagannath Mishra actually felt indescribable happiness seeing the sun of his face. Niti niti actually in Bengali means every day, regularly, daily. And as we know, Gaurachandra is very beautiful indeed. And it is written that Ye matra putrera rupa kare mishtrapana shasharire sayujya haila kibatahana. So he drank the beauty of his son actually, and it appears he had merged into the body of the Lord. It is not considered sayujya in the shloka itself actually. Chaitanya Bhagavad is written Sasharire sayujya haila. It is not meaning that Jagannath Mishra actually merged. It is the consciousness merging with his son's consciousness. That is what it is indicated actually. So generally, even when as Vaishnavas, even in one of the Madhva Sampradayam scriptures, it is written that actually the philosophy of Suddha Dvaita, Sayujya Mukti, as Vaishnavas, we do not aspire for it. But when we say we want to worship Sri Krishna's feet, it doesn't mean we become merged. We become close to it. It is the closeness of the consciousness is what as Vaishnavas we aspire and desire actually. So what is in this shloka should not be construed as or misunderstood that this is merging with the feet of Lord Vishnu or Jagannath Mishra is merging with Gauranga Mahaprabhu. It is his heart and his soul is merging, his consciousness is surging. An example, material universe can be given. If someone loves someone, their thoughts and consciousness are merged with them. It may be the love between husband, wife, or even between their child, mother, father, brother, sister. You are dear to them. That is what the consciousness and feeling is called merging actually. So it is said that Sayujya wo kaun apadhu sukhatane Sayujyadi sukha mishra alpakari mane. So kaun means for what use? Jagannath Mishra had no use to merge. He is actually extremely pleased in actually seeing Gauranga Mahaprabhu and how in his childhood form of Nitai, how effulgent and beautiful he is. And in Chaitanya Mangala actually, very nicely actually it is written that the treasure of Vaikuntha actually appeared in the courtyard of Sachisuta. So every time she saw Nimai, actually she would actually choke to her husband and say, see the beautiful face of Nimai actually, and how we make our life successful by seeing. Just like we say that even Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Jagannath Mishra, and actually very nicely in the shloka, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and also others comment that they say Jagannath Mishra Chandra. It is a kind of endearment they have put actually to Jagannath Mishra. Even every limb actually of Nimai is actually manifested in abundance of rasa. So you can assume that just like when you boil milk, the essence of the milk, the more and more you boil, the more and more sweeter it becomes. Similarly, Gauranga's body is actually a condensed form of luscious nectar. Seeing this form actually soothed the eye of Jagannath Mishra and Sachisuta. Even the ladies who were in Sachisuta's home, they said, we have never heard of such a boy whose sight immediately makes our heart palpitate. Just like we see something nice in this material universe. Similarly, all the bhaktas, all the people who are living around Jagannath Mishra's home and the ladies, they always had this irresistible attraction to Nimai. And not a day doesn't pass where they didn't want to see him. In fact, the entire universe could not contain actually the boundless joy actually that Jagannath Mishra felt by seeing actually Nimai. In fact, just like we get mesmerized when we see Krishna here or any other Vigraha, same way every day, every night, Sachisuta, Nimai playing with his friends, coming back home, going to Gurukula, and all these actually, the rays of Nimai's dazzling body actually appeared nectarian. So, you know, the affection rises actually in the heart. In fact, Jagannath Mishra, the moment he used to see Nimai, his affection used to actually grow. Because seeing Nimai's red lips, at this point, Nimai is not a sannyasi. So his hair, his locks are very, very beautiful. They are flowing through his shining cheeks. His neck actually used to resemble that of a lion, and his shoulders were as powerful as an elephant actually. And obviously Nimai's body is saturated with bliss. His hips are actually very wide. His powerful thighs are actually the trunk of a banana tree. You know, his feet resemble red lotus flower. And of course, as we know, the soles of Nimai's hands and feet are marked with many, many auspicious marks like the flag, the chamara, the lightning bolt, the umbrella, the swastika, the jambu fruit. All these beautiful marks are actually adorning Nimai's hands and legs. So we can see that Jagannath Mishra was very pleased having Nimai. Contrary to here, Hiranyakashipu actually was not very happy because he wanted, as a demonic king, as a son, he wanted his son to follow his lineage and actually conquer more worlds and become even more greater in the path of demoniac or materialistic principle. But Prahlada is actually obviously very pious. If we say the meaning of Prahlada, Hlad means actually something which is very potent when we say Hladini Shakti. So Prahlada is actually already endowed with actually good qualities. And obviously it has come because when he is in the mother of his womb, Kayadu, his mother, actually was with Narada Muni, and she was continuously hearing the different pastimes of Bhagavan Sri Krishna and all the leelas which are happening. So we can see that Asat Sangatya Ek Vaishnav Achara. So association of devotees and thinking actually is what causes our consciousness to improve. Whether we come to temple, we eat prasad, we honor, we come to festival. In fact, Jagannath Mishra was so saturated actually seeing this bliss in all four directions. You know, after his birth, hundreds of village wives, they bought auspicious items like sweets, rice paste, vermilion, and Sachi Devi placed her baby on her lap and said that please bless him with the dust of your feet. See, this is the Vedic tradition that even Vasudev, Devaki, of course, when Krishna was born, he was in a prison. But even when they returned actually and freed him from Kamsa, even Vasudeva and Devaki organized actually to get blessings for their son. So it is said that actually blessings of pious, elders, people is always the right way. Just like we worship our gurus and other elders, that is why it is very important actually to have that respect actually. And Sachi Devi prayed actually that please bless Nimai that he lives forever. He is not my boy, but I still think of him. Protect his body from his nectar. And you know, on the 8th day, they perform all the different ceremonies. And then, of course, they performed the naming ceremony. Jagannath Mishra performed on the 11th day the naming ceremony for Nimai. And, Sachi Sutta decorated Nimai's eyes with black kajal, we say. His beautiful forehead was marked with a effulgent tilaka, and Nimai would actually move his hands and legs as a baby in all directions. And Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Mata were so mesmerized, always looking at their wonderful boy. An analogy can be used is when, of course, Sachi Sutta is no other than Mother Yashoda. We can say that when Krishna ate mud at the bank of Yamuna and he opened his mouth, Yashoda Devi was completely mesmerized seeing what is inside Krishna's mouth. She could not realize what she was seeing. Similarly, imagine Sachi Mata living every day with Nimai and actually showing her motherly affection. This motherly affection which Sachi Mata is showing is not a ordinary material affection. It is actually spiritually eternal relationship, because obviously she is Krishna's mother. So we can see that how as Nimai grew, all the residents of Nadia, they were actually also blissful and they were very happy in associating with the different leelas actually of Nimai actually speaking. And that's why we say Nimai Chandra, because his face is more beautiful than every moons in autumn, and it looked like the Cupid personified. So similarly we can see that how Jagannath Mishra's affection for his son is very different compared to Hiranyakashipu which is seen. And hence it is also important for us to understand that the beauty of the Lord is unparalleled and it is unlimited. But as it is said, Premanjana Shvaritu Bhakti Vilochanena, it is up to our eyes to understand and recognize and relish that beauty actually. A similar aspect actually is also we can see in Ramayana actually. So even when Dasharatha, when Lord Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata and Shatrughna was born actually, Dasharatha was actually very pleased. It said that actually Pradeyasham Dado Raja Sutam Dadham Didanam Brahmanebhyo Dado Vitam Godhanani Sahasrashaha. So Dasharatha gave gifts to all the Ulizers, the people who came, the Brahmanas and everything. And why is he doing this Dhanam? Because he wants blessing for his sons. Dasharatha is no ordinary person actually, but he is so happy to receive blessings. And obviously we know that once Rama, Bharata, Lakshmana and Shatrughna grow, actually they become very, very engrossed in not just material. As a king in those days, as a Kshatriya, there are also important things to learn, but not just only material education. Even spiritual aspect by going with Vishwamitra Muni and going to Gurukula is actually the essence. That is why it is said a Brahmana, even in those days Kshatriyas used to wear sacred thread. One who has understanding of Brahma Jnanam, what is Atma, Paramatma, and what is that which is Sat and Chit and Achit, is very important actually to understand. One nice actually description, it is said that after the 11th day, similarly like how Jagannath Mishra performed the naming ceremony, even Dasharatha performed actually. So it is written in Valmiki Ramayanam that Ati kaikai da kadashaham tu nama karam tato karat Jeshta Rama Mahatmana Bharatau Kaikai Sutam Saumitro Lakshmaniti Shatrughna Param Tatha Vashishta Param Prito Namani Kurute Tada. So just a brief description actually, that Rama is defined as Ramante Sarvajanaha Gunahi Asmin Iti Ramaha. In actually in all people take delight for his virtuousness actually. Rama, if you can see, Lord Rama is actually full of virtuousness and hence he is called Rama. So in Padma Puranam it is said that Shriya Kamala Vasinaya Rame Namam Mahaprabhu Tasmat Sri Rama Iti Asya Nama Siddhi Puratanam. Virtuousness cannot be actually in every Leela of Bhagavan's incarnation which he comes, some aspect of guna is actually extolled and it is exemplified. And that is not because and it is not according to what we judge. It is what he decides actually to actually exemplify it or extol it. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very magnanimous and very patita pavana. It is not meaning that all other incarnations is not patita pavana. Rama or even Krishna has actually delivered everyone. Even Parashurama is also. But it is what he decides to extol. Similarly, Bharata is described as Bharata Rajya Bharanat. So, Bibharti iti Bharataha. Bharata is because when Rama went to Vanavas, it was he who had to burn the burden of the kingdom. And how did he rule the kingdom? By placing Rama's Paduka. Lakshmana is described as Lakshmano Lakshmi Sampana or Lakshmi Asya Astita Lakshmanaha. Lakshmana is actually called flavored flourisher. So Lakshmana is called selfless dedication, as we understand. No matter whatever, wherever he went. In fact, there is a wonderful conversation in detail when Rama decides actually to go to Vanvas and Lakshmana comes to know about it. He actually explains to his wife that he is also decided to go to Vanavas. We say Tranadapi Suni Chena Tarodapi Sanishnana, and we say, oh, we want to be servant. But we don't extol not as Dasya Rasa, but the mood of servitor and servant, if one should learn, is actually to be learned from Lakshmana, actually, who is none other than Balarama or Nityananda. So we shouldn't think that we have all these different rasas and I don't want to become Dasya Rasa servant ras. Nityananda Prabhu is actually constantly serving Sri Krishna himself or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we should understand that being dasya is not something that actually wrong or lower. It is actually a very high state of mind itself. Before serving, one has to have the state of mind, and then only one can become dasyam actually. Shatrugna is called Shatrun Hanti iti Shatrugnaha. So is always the enemy destroyer. So the naming ceremony, just like Jagannath Mishra did, even Garga Muni did actually for Krishna, even Jagannath Mishra when he did actually for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it is done according to proper actually Vedic traditions, where they actually see the day, the tithi, the nakshatra, all these auspicious things actually extol the virtues actually. For us, we see auspicious moments because it is important for us. But when Sri Krishna appears, Lord Rama appears, or other incarnations, Leelas appear, they actually exemplify the nakshatra and the tithis on when they are born. Because we are not permanent, we are material Bahiranga Shakti, where Sri Krishna is Sachidanandam Vigraha. So we can see that the appearance of the Lord, his pastimes, when they do certain things, carry actually very deep spiritual and purifying significance actually. So similarly, Jagannath Mishra also did feasting. He fed all the Brahmanas. He did Dhanam. Same way, Dasharatha also. Brahmanam Bhojayamas Pauranam Janapadanapi Adadrahanam Cha Ratne Ghamamitam Bahu Tesham Janma Kriyadini Sarva Karmanya Karanat. So he actually gave lot of donation of cows and everything, and whatever one can. Even today's world, we may do dhanam, whatever is yatha shakti by one's aspect. But the first aspect of, we say, as dhanam or whatever we do, satvika tyagam we call, is actually by mind, not question of material. Of course, one should not be miserly. If one has money, then if you say I will be miserly and I only give 1 rupee or $1 somewhere, then Krishna also knows how miserly he is. So one should give according to one's capacity. And the reason for doing this is only actually by serving other people can we actually also reduce our karma. It is a way of sacrifice actually. Giving something to someone is actually a way of sacrificing our own self into the servitude of someone else actually. That is why we can see that all of these different ceremonies are performed not just by one person. In all these incarnations and leelas, we can see that even Jagannath Mishra actually also does this kind of, we say dhanam and different ceremonies. So similarly, we can see that how Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Mata are so actually satisfied in having Nimai always in their home. Of course, the Leela pastimes goes where eventually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will leave and Jagannath Mishra also passes away. But we can see that the affection and emotion, it is not just one way. Even Nimai has lot of affection for his father and his mother actually. So we can see that the interaction of Sri Krishna or even Nimai or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or any other Leelas of Bhagavan with these Bhagavatas are always very personal. It is not materialistic. It is not a materialistic give and take. Yes, sometimes like Putana has come and she wanted to kill Krishna, but it is also kind of preordained and predestined, as Acharyas have said actually, that she was blessed in a way because she attained. It is not the right way to attain mercy or association of Krishna, but if someone desires that way, then eventually it is Lord who desires to put them in that position to get that mercy or their karma become over actually. So we can see this is the beautiful, wonderful pastimes actually. And also when we do these kind of penance and dhanam, it is said that there are 3 kind of actually also karmas to be capable of ridding of one's janma, mrityu, jara, vyadi. There is yajnanam, which is, as I said, performance of yajnas or tapas. And it may be directly, we should not attribute to chanting of Hare Krishna because that is for self-purification. Adhyanam, as what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did, was learning the Vedas and Vedantam from Acharya. And Dhanam, giving away one's possessions to the needy. So without expectation of anything in return actually. So that is when the blessing happens. So that is why in all these leelas we can see that great personalities would actually give, and that is how it works. Because in the material universe, none is truly our possession. We are temporary possessors of actually Sri Krishna's wealth. So we are only utilizing for his service, and this should be the understanding. So we can see that the difference and contrast of how Hiranyakashipu thinks that his own son is going against his philosophy and his material life, whereas just a few examples of how actually Nimai growing up, and also Jagannath Mishra taking care of his son, and happy to see that Nimai is actually growing up and learning the Shastrams and the Vedams. And we can see also Rama. And same way, even Sri Krishna was sent actually to his guru's ashram to learn actually. So this is the basic aspect. So in summary, we will not say that material education is bad, but it should not be supplemented. It is going hand in hand actually with spiritual understanding and realization actually. So similarly, we can see that all these different leelas actually show to us that how we should also be, whether in our personal lives or whether we have children or other people amongst us, how we can actually make an impact, and even personally to make sure that we may have responsibilities of material sustenance, but we should make sure that our spiritual life and progress and devotional service is not hampered because of that. So I will end today's class. If anyone has comments or questions, feel free to share or add or ask. No questions. We'll end today's class. So Vrindra Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.